In this video, I'm going to prove to you that the scale is lying to you. And I'm going to do it with one client's real numbers, the same guy, same scale, and the same 14 days. If you read it one way, he gained weight. If you read it another, he lost fat. And nothing changed except the number that you look at. You know the exact feeling. You ate clean all week. You trained hard. You did everything right. And then Saturday morning, the scale is still up 2 pounds. And then just like that, you feel like the whole week was a complete waste. But those 2 pounds are not fat. I'm going to show you exactly what it is. And by the end of this video, you're going to know the one number that actually measures fat loss and why single weigh-ins are almost always useless and how you can run the 14-day test that's going to prove every single word in this video. My name is Nolan Olm. I'm a pro football player for the Toronto Argonauts. I was a D1 wide receiver and two-time team captain at Eastern Washington University, and I'm the founder of Make It Happen Coaching, where we've helped over 100 individuals, 100 high performers get off of that ledge of jumping off the plan, the program on Saturday. Stay till the very end. I'm going to give you the free tracking sheet. If you go DM me on Instagram, I'll tell you exactly how to get that at the end of this video. So I want to show you, created this based off of one of the clients that we worked with. We worked with over 100. You can see this is my transformation here. Really, this is from a couple of years ago to the picture on the right. So, we've been doing this for a while, and this is exactly what little strategies like this will get you to do, understanding the real meat and potatoes. So this is what one of our clients looked like. Now, this is in kilograms, so you'll have to forgive me, anyone that's American, but we'll make do. And this is 14 days. So you can see we have 2 weeks here. And if you take his weight on day 7 and you compare it to his weight on the last day, he's up about 6.6 kilograms, as we can, see on paper. So on paper, he gained weight. But if we compare that weight on the last day to the next week, right, we're down 0.6 of fat. So it's the same guy, it's the same scale, it's the same 2 weeks. And there's a swing of over a kilogram, as you can see here, which is like 2 pounds, based purely on whatever the numbers that you pick. So I want you to think about what this means. When we take the weekly average from week 1, and we take the weekly average from week 2, this is so important. This is why single day weigh-ins can mess people up. Because if you weigh yourself in on the wrong morning, or on a morning where your biological signals are acting a little bit crazy, and I'll show you exactly why they're doing that, you're going to think that your diet's failed, and then you're going to quit. But if you read the average, you know that it's working. It's all part of the process, and you keep going. The food did not change. The fat didn't change on this. Literally, the only thing that's going to change from these two things is the story that you tell yourself. And that's going to determine your adherence, which is the most important thing. So the question isn't necessarily, did the scale go up or down? The question is, what's our overall trend? Where is everything heading? That's the biggest thing. So when we look at these things, right, the noise versus the signal, this is super, super important, because math does not have an opinion. A real aggressive fat loss deficit, which would be 500 calories a day, that's the maximum deficit that you want to be in, comes down to about 0.14 pounds of fat lost per day. That is just the truth. That's the science. So that is the signal, the thing that we want to be tapped into, the thing that we want to be listening to. And that's the real thing that we need to measure. Now, your normal daily fluctuation, though, with just water and food moving through you, runs about 1 to 2% of your body weight. Think about that. So for, say we're just a 200-pound man, that's at the highest range, we're going to be 4 pounds away. As you guys can see, 2 to 4 pounds a day, every single day. Now, this is going to reset overnight. And I really want you to understand this and sit with this so that you never get in your head again about this. The thing that you're trying to detect, and it's about 1/7 of a pound. Like, what are we talking about? And the noise, right? The key is listening to the signal and the noise. The noise is like literally over tenfold of that. Look at that. It's insane. And so you have to really come back to this is what the signal is what's really going on, but there's going to be a ton of noise, especially as you're looking to get into fat loss. Because every morning your body's going to be different. This is not my opinion. This is just the numbers. One weigh-in is not going to tell if you're losing fat because the noise is, like I said, we're talking exponentially bigger. So what are the things that are really moving the scale? The things that are really moving the scale. None of it is fat. I'm going to break it down for you. When the scale jumps 3 pounds, 4 pounds overnight, or drops 4 pounds overnight, you're not going to be able to eat enough or burn enough in one day for that to be fat. So these are the 4 things that it is. The first one is glycogen and the water that it holds. So the carbohydrates that you eat, they store for fuel. And that fuel gets packed away with, the studies show about 3 grams of water per each. So there was a whole research study that was done on this. If you eat a big carb meal, and this is why when you have like a cheat meal or something, and then you're holding a couple pounds in, water by the morning, you're like, oh my gosh, I ate this meal. No, that's not fat. That is a full tank of glycogen fuel to go attack. That's why your workout feels so good when you have a bunch of food the night before. Maybe you overeat because the carbs, or maybe you introduce carbs and it's been a while because that glycogen is going to go in there. 3 grams of water each, which adds up. So the second thing that we're going to cover here is sodium and aldosterone. So sodium this is really important with your kidneys. And so, the popular advice in this space is that it's kind of backwards. And this is the one thing that we'll come back to this in a second. I want to get to cortisol and retention and why this is so important. So a hard training session, a stressful week, a fight with your significant other, something just in life, like even being in too much of an aggressive deficit, that will make you hold water, which is why if you think about it, I want you to think about like some of your busiest weeks at work. You are an entrepreneur, you're a founder, you're a salesman, whatever, a manager. I want you to think about like one of your busiest weeks, most intense weeks. And if you were measuring your weight there, what did it look like? Because really those busiest weeks is when the scale is going to spike. Even when your diet is perfect, all this stuff is perfect, that's simply cortisol, right? And that's your stress hormone. The fourth one, which is the simplest one, is just food. So gut content, it's just food digesting. And especially if you have a ton of fat, a bunch of fat in a meal and a cheat meal, that might throw your digestion off and it might take longer for your body to process that. So glycogen, sodium, cortisol, and then gut content. That's all essentially an overnight swing. So none of this says fat. I want to be really clear about that. And the sodium one is where almost everyone, including the smartest nerds out there, they do the exact opposite of what they should. And I've ran into this even. I've done this before in my time too, because you've heard it 100 different times. You got to cut your salt to drop your water weight. And it's not just wrong, guys. I want to get this really clear, but it's reversed. So if we talk about how important this is, there was a study that was done, and it was published in the journal Hypertension. And so they tracked what happens when you restrict the sodium, as you guys can see here. And within about 2 days, your aldosterone, the hormone, which aldosterone's whole job, if you don't know, is to make your body cling to sodium and water. So, this very sharply increases. And, your kidneys, we talked about it before, they're very, very important. And they're going to ramp down how much sodium that they dump, depending on this, which when we look at the numbers, like 20-fold. So we're talking a lot. You don't even need to understand what 20-fold means. Like that's a lot. So when you're going to slash salt, when you're going to cut salt to look leaner and you think that it's not going to hold on to water, your body is actually going to respond by holding on harder to water and not letting it go. And that's just over 6 days. But also, meanwhile, when you eat too much salt, your body is going to flush the excess efficiently. So the puffy, high salt look is very, very temporary. And it's something that's really going to pass on its own. So I want you to picture the guy the night before And maybe this is you, like maybe even you, like you go to the pool or a beach day and you're cutting salt to lean out. Well, you're telling your body to defend the water, to defend its water. So literally, you're gonna show up softer, and then you're gonna be like, you're gonna blame yourself. Oh, was I like that one little meal that I had, or the one thing that I ate that was like not so great? That's not it at all. That's not it. Chasing water by cutting salt is fixing a problem that you don't have. That's the issue. And you go that way, you're actually gonna make it worse. It's like when you guys do these starvation, these cutting just over and over again, you're creating more cortisol. You're doing these things that are going to actually hold on to more fat if you're not doing it with the right system and the right way. So you got to leave your sodium at a reasonable rate. And the key is consistency with your sodium. And then the trend is going to tell you exactly what it needs to. And so since we're talking about, this water, and you're probably going to, hear people that are going to explain all of this with, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but the whoosh phenomenon. And it's the idea that your fat cells fill up with water and after they empty out. So you're basically going to hold weight and then suddenly just drop all this weight in one big flush. But it's not true. And I will be honest, it might be plausible on some of the information, some of the research that's out there, but it's never actually been established in any studies. So it's not like this crazy mechanism that anyone could really back up, because all the swings come down to four things: glycogen, cortisol, sodium, gut content. You don't need to, do this cleanse and cut, what, like that's not gonna work. And the big thing I want to relate to you guys are business, you guys love business, and you make a ton of money. So you understand this. Do you sell on one red day with your stocks? Does your financial planner, does your fiduciary, whoever it is, do they sell on one bad day? They don't. And this is the new way I want you to think about your body weight. It is a stock market. All that matters is the overall trend. And you know that if you put your money in the right places, if you train, if you invest your time, your energy in the right places, like your macros, like metabolically priming, like training, athletically shredded, training like an athlete and getting shredded, you know that the trend is going to end up where you want it to be. And they say that your money compounds every 7 years. Well, maybe it's you freaking get the most shredded you've ever been every 7 years. Hopefully a little bit sooner. But you get my point, right? It is not about the day-to-day. And this is why I'm going to come to this. Sometimes daily weighing is not for everybody. Because if the number sets the tone for the whole day, and it either ruins your day or it makes your day, you're going to be having very high highs and very low lows. You're going to have inconsistent lifts. This is where I see people do the cheat meals where they fall into vices. What we need to do is stay even keeled, and we need to focus on the big rocks that are going to get result. And so if this is not going to help you, then maybe this is something that we do weekly. Or maybe you just take a picture and you send it to your coach and you don't even look at it. That's one thing too. If you have enough discipline to do that, there's ways to do that. Just don't take a picture on a glass scale if you're naked above it. Been there, not ideal. Not ideal. Okay, so what is very, very important, if this is not for you, then just the key is to weigh daily, same conditions. I'm going to be honest with you though. Screw it. Like, have a strong mindset. Understand these. This is the whole point of the video. Still take your weight every single day before water or food. Ignore the single reading, no matter what, and what you're going to judge is the weekly average. And the app that we use with our clients, it gives it to them, but you could add in all your weights and then divide it by 7, obviously. And remember, give it 2 to 3 weeks, give it time, give it a week, weekly average. That's big. So the 3 takeaways that I want you guys to do today: stop reading the day, judge the weekly average, and remember that cutting salt or carbs to drop water weight is fixing the wrong problem, and it's creating more problems for you. So never do that again. And if you want to get results like this, if you want to get results like my guy, we can go look at all the clients here. Like my guy, Jared, 42, got 6-pack shredded for the first time in his life. Never seen it again. Ricky's just down 20 pounds. Cyrus just shredded in the best shape of his life. If you want results like this, if you want a system that's going to get you right, if you are a high performer, if you're someone that makes a ton of money, if you want these high level systems for you, if you want to prime your metabolism and really cut through the noise, all the misinformation out there, and get on a program that's just going to tell you what matters, then this is for you. And you can go DM me at Noel Noam if you want all the stuff that I was talking about, the information before. Go DM me Shred and I'll send that over to you. And if you're really ready to change your life, if you've been watching these videos and you're thinking about it and you really want to make the investment in yourself. I saved up all my money when I was 15 and spent everything that I had on a nutrition coach, and it changed my life and it gave me the foundations for everything that I'm doing today. I consistently invest in myself, and it's gotten me the results that I have now. And that's how you need to elevate. That investment in yourself is going to buy back years instead of spending all these resources and time, which you cannot get back, when you can just get the information and download decades in days. That's really the key. So if that's you, you can click down a link below and just jump on a call with us, and we'll see if it's a good fit. But this is not for everybody. This is for the high performer, the six-figure earner, the person who's crushing it in other areas of their life and wants to be in the best shape of their life. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment down below what you guys want to see next, and we'll see you in the next one. Make it happen. Out.